People is the title of a show on Netflix that has a cast that I did not think would work well together. Jonah Hill, who is an accomplished comedian, an actor. He's got a lot of great movies under his belt. I don't think the guy is super hilarious. I don't, personally. But he's teamed with Eddie Murphy, and I was like, oh no, don't do that. And I didn't think that the combination would work. I think Eddie Murphy is currently the funniest person on the planet. But I didn't think that they would work well as a team. And I was pleasantly surprised that they were funny together on screen and off. When they were together on screen and when they were not together on screen, they were hilarious. They were still hilarious. Yeah, they were funny. Sometimes hilarious. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in this. And usually when I see her doing something, I'm thinking Elaine from Seinfeld. But now, with her Marvel stuff, every time I see her, I'm thinking, oh, that's the Countess. She's the Countess. Yeah, that's the Countess. She's in Marvel now, so now when I see her, that's what I think. Movie had a couple of surprise people in there that I wasn't expecting, but it was funny. Mike Epps was in it. But the movie, it had a ton of people in it. There were surprise appearances, surprises to me because I wasn't expecting them. It's a good movie. What had happened was Jonah Hill's character, he's a Jewish guy, plays a Jewish guy, can't find a good woman. So he decides to look outside of his normal comfort zone, at least what his parents want him to consider his comfort zone. And he meets an African-American woman. He got in her car. He thought she was his Uber, and he got in her car. She had just stopped because she was lost and trying to figure out where she was at. And he just got in her car and was like, get up. And she took offense to that, of course. And it turned out that he could help her find where she was going if she would drop him off. So they ended up exchanging numbers. They don't show that part, but they show a couple days later they're dating. And they went out on several dates. And he said something that I've been telling people for years. If a man and a woman, or a man and a man, if two people who could potentially like one another, could potentially be together, go out together. They plan to go out together, they go out together, they go to food, or they eat, or they do whatever, horseback riding, or whatever they do, they go out together. That is a date. You may say it's a get together, you may say we were just hanging out. It's a date, because you set a date and you went there. That's what the whole thing means, date. At this time, we're going to meet together and do a thing. So he tells her, we're on a date. And she's like, is this a date? And he's like, yes. And I'm in the background saying, yes, that's a date. You met together and you did stuff. Now, if it's just two guys, two gals, and you're not romantically inclined, you're not thinking about each other in that way, and you just go out and you're just hanging out. But if there's a chance that you two could be seeing each other, that's a date. It's a date, man. So they went on a date, and his parents are Jewish. Her parents are American Muslim, black. They call them black Muslim, the black Muslim. So there's a little bit of animosity, and they bump heads. The parents bump heads. They, I want to say that they try to like each other, but mostly it's Eddie Murphy. He doesn't like them at all. He doesn't like them from the beginning. He had his daughter's life planned out. He had the dude she was going to meet and date. He gave the dude advice on how to get with the daughter, the whole 9 yards, which personally is a little weird, but he was telling them this is what you do, yada, yada, yada. And instead of the big, tall, African-American basketball player, athletic-looking dude, she brings home Jonah Hill, who is the opposite of that. He's not big and tall. He is not athletic, and I don't know if you know, he is not African-American. So he was upset by that. So he asked Eddie Murphy if he could have his daughter. He would like to marry his daughter. I want to know if I could have her hand in marriage. I want to see if I can marry her. And he's like, You can try. And I was like, oh, he ain't gonna let that happen. He's not gonna let it happen. He don't like you. Right off the top. You know, Eddie Murphy was not a distinguished gentleman in this movie. You know, so he didn't like him. And it's a typical trope. I mean, you know what happens. They meet, parents don't like, there's a lot of movies like that, don't like each other, and then it works out, man. It works out. So that's a trope. Everybody knows what's gonna happen. You know, guess who's coming to dinner? Guess who? There's a lot of movies like that where the parents don't like whomever, and they gotta work through it. And usually the parents have to get together and say, oh yeah, we were being so bad. And then they get the kids together. So, I mean, that's basically it. But the other stuff in the movie is what made it funny. And it was a funny movie. It was funny. I've said before that this movie has, you know, is better than it should have been. It's, you know, funnier than it should have been. It's more exciting than it should have been. This movie was funnier than it should have been. I've said it before, and I'm saying it now. This movie is funnier than it should have been. It was good, and to be completely honest, Eddie Murphy should do more movies, man. I mean, I don't know if he's semi-retired or what, but, you know, the world needs that. He is hilarious. That dude's funny. And this movie, it didn't feel like he had a lot to do, a lot to go on, but he's commanding in all of his roles. He's a funny guy. Funny guy. You people, which is another trope. People say that, you people, when they're talking about anybody, you know, but you know, usually they're talking about, you know, whatever. So, and there's a lot of things, there's a lot of times when Julia Dreyfus is being racist and she doesn't know it. Here's a hint. If you are not African American, and even sometimes even if you are, but if you're not African American, don't go up to somebody African American and ask if you can touch their hair. That's racist, man. If somebody says something and you say, oh, it's okay, because I've got black friends, that's racist. You may not know it, but yeah, don't do that. That is offensive to the people that, you know, that you're talking to. And she says several things in here, and you can look on her face, and I can tell, I don't think she means what she's saying, but what she's saying is racist. And they point that out in the movie, because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, is somebody gonna say something? Somebody gonna say something to her? They need to tell her, you know? If she don't know, you know, it's like if you live in a haunted house and somebody says, hey, can I get, you know, your golf clubs from the basement? You have information that they don't have. If they go into the basement, then they are going to get a surprise because it's haunted down there. It's information that you have that they don't have. They don't know it's haunted. They just want to go down there. But they're going to find out in a bad way, yeah, dog, that was haunted. If you don't know you're being racist and you say something racist, usually somebody's going to point that out. Sometimes they think, he don't know, and they let it slide. But sometimes people are going to stop you and say, hey, man, you're being racist. But in this particular movie, it was going both ways. Eddie Murphy definitely did not like them, specifically because of their race. Actually, the husband was being kind of bad too. Yeah, it was a funny movie. It was based on race. It was a funny movie. Laugh about it. You know, watch the movie, laugh. Don't take it too seriously. You know, don't grab some pitchforks, run out into the street, whatever. It's a funny movie. It was a very funny movie. I enjoyed it. And as a matter of fact, I enjoyed you people so much that I would give it 7 bags of popcorn. 7 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now that you had a chance to look at the video, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.